We did it. All or nothing for every Rocky/Creed film before, but now we're here to talk about Creed 3, the most recent release in this, what I'm calling in my own mind, the Rocky universe.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, before we start talking about this movie, I think I said this to you because I called Brandon as soon as I finished the movie, and I was like, I don't know if it's ever been done before, but I want it to happen with this, where the spinoff of a franchise gets two spun-off franchises, because I both want Damien and Drago to get their own franchises in this Rocky universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Really, really fun.
I think the perfect Damien movie is a guy who beat him up in the yard comes out and's like, "Hey, I took you out in the prison.
I whipped you in prison. I whipped you out of prison."
Exactly.
Kind of like the original Undisputed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
And so, and Drago, man, that guy, that young cat, man, he looks the part. He's a star through and through. And given Ivan Drago, Dolph Lundgren more work. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
is always fine by me.
Yep.
Absolutely agree.
When I saw Creed 3, I was like, what did I see him in recently? Where the guy who plays Drago's son.
Yeah.
What did I see him in recently?
Was it Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's
Shang-Chi.
yeah, he's the guy with the one blade. I was like, that's where I knew him.
Man,
Yeah.
it's amazing how many Marvel Universe actors are in this movie.
So, right? Oh my goodness, yeah. And they're all villains too.
All villains, every single one. of them.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
So it was you that said people had said Jonathan Majors' character was the babyface of this film.
Protagonist.
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
Protagonist, babyface.
Yeah, small third.
The good guy.
Good guy. Very well.
But I think that the execution of Creed 3 is so well done that it's not necessarily that anyone is the good guy or the bad guy. It's just that everybody's perspective is shown so well, in my view, is why it's so easy to think he could be the main character, the protagonist. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess what people were always saying with this movie is he's the one. Yes, Creed goes through something and works through something, but he's the one that starts on the bottom and then has to work his way up.
Has to find his path.
Well, the funny thing is, I love that he keeps bringing up, "Hey, your dad did it. Your dad did it for Rocky, right? So you can do it for me." And even Bianca, Creed, Adonis Creed's wife, she's like, "Oh, it looks like you're still thinking about it." When he's like, "Oh, I can't do that. I can't just hand him the fight."
Yeah,
it's
they're
like,
brushing their teeth, and you're like, "So why do you look like you're actually contemplating doing this?"
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Oh, it was Michael B. Jordan who made this movie, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
directed it.
He did a really good job. I don't know if it's the direction, the writing, the whoever did the whatever,
The acting,
but the folks did some good work here. I tell you,
top notch.
Mm-hmm.
It lives up to the franchise. My bad.
Oh, you're good.
It lives up to the franchise absolutely. So every time there's a new Rocky, new Creed film that comes out, I always have this little sinking feeling in my heart, like, oh, don't ruin the franchise, don't ruin the franchise.
Is this gonna be it?
Is this gonna be the one that sucks? I gotta know.
Yeah, even as far back as 5, I was thinking, oh, this is the one that killed it.
Yeah, this is the bomb.
And then I
It
went
came out with Balboa.
back years later, and I was like, nah, it's not as bad as I remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what it is you look at it in the Rocky vote. If you look at it just the context of just a movie, like, oh, this is a good movie. It's a really good movie. If you look at it in the Rocky movie, I'm like, it doesn't hit as hard.
Exactly. Yeah.
Doesn't hit as hard as these other Rocky movies.
That's the problem when you got that greatness to compare it to.
So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. For me, this one hit harder than 2 for me. I really like this movie.
So there were things that were executed so well within it, and mostly that final fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we got there, I mean, there were instances before we got there, but that final fight when, who cares? We'll just go out of order.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for the whole movie. Guys.
Yes, exactly. When we get to that final fight and Jonathan Majors sees a young Michael B. Jordan, and Michael B. Jordan sees a young Jonathan Majors, it makes me think, oh, okay, this is real personal shit. Then they both get up. Man, I try not to curse. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Let it go.
Yeah.
When they both get up and they square up, and then the entire crowd disappears, I was like, okay, this gives me big time Rocky 2 vibes.
Right.
Where in the gym, we're the only two guys that matter. We need to know who's the better man. It doesn't matter what any of the crowd thinks.
All the smoke and mirrors, all the announcers, all the pictures, the cameras.
Exactly. And even though they don't say that here, it's not needed to be said.
I think it's better that it's not.
Absolutely. And so I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
I thought that was well executed. And the biggest surprise and the thing that made me really give it a 5 out of 5, the thing that made me say this is a great movie, is when both sides forgave each other. Because both guys had a reason to say, you did me wrong. Like, whether it's the fact that Adonis, who just a few years after losing his friend, could have reached out to him, but didn't. He just let it go. He said, I'm moving on with my life. I'm moving on up to the rich side of town. So I can understand Damien feeling hurt by that, right?
Feeling left out.
Absolutely. And so I can see where Adonis did Damien wrong. But also, when Damien came out of prison, he big time did Adonis wrong multiple times over, breaking his not lead, but his top baby face in his stable. Breaking his face. I thought he was going to kill him. Like
I thought he did kill him.
When he came out with all the pomp and circumstance, like the big hat and the James Brown, I was like,
oh my god, this is Adonis Creed. He's about to get murdered.
You're telling me this guy's done.
Yep.
He's taking too heavy after his mentor's father.
but
especially when dude just came out. I can't remember. Like he had nothing. I think it was literally just him
in trunks. Yeah,
in trunks and his. One trainer?
Yep.
Yeah, him and the one trainer in trunks. Yeah,
the guy who they need to pull off the hoodie and stuff so he can fight. Yeah, that's it. That's all he came out with.
And I was blown away when he got booed because I was like, be apathetic, fine, but booing him, I was like, I'm surprised by that.
Yeah. That was shocking. We say like it was an actual boxing match, but
right.
Like I can't believe that crowd, man. I can't believe they booed him.
Yeah, what were they doing there? MGM grade, my God.
Never seen this guy box a day.
So many marks up in there.
All the marks. My God. But yeah, it was. I gotta give it to them. They did a really good job. Like all the fights, first of all, were done in classic Rocky III fashion.
That sky looking down shot, love that. It happened in multiple fights, but all of the camera work in these fights were just so nice.
Yeah, I have a friend that's in cinematography. He said that's the God's Eye shot, and it's very aptly named because it's a beautiful shot. You see everything that's going on, and I don't know. It always they're so good at adding to the fight by just doing like the opposite of what Kevin Dunn does in wrestling is just
constant cuts,
millions of camera cuts for no reason. They slow it down to okay, it's gonna be most important right here. It'll be most impactful right here.
There was this one gut shot where Diamond Damian Anderson punches up Adonis Creed's gut.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, is this gonna be Superman putting his fist through the Joker in Injustice? Like that's how intense that punch was. I was like, damn.
You know where he got that from?
Where?
Dragon Ball Z. You know when Vegeta hits Goku. That's what I'm just waiting. That's what I'm waiting on is the fights because I know that's what you like, and then I just want to just elaborate. Like Michael B. Jordan is a huge anime fan.
Yeah.
And a lot of these,
and I did genuinely forget that.
Yeah, a lot of these fights were taken from different anime,
different inspiration.
So it's like when you see like the gut punch, anytime you'll see like that, if you watch Dragon Ball Z, you'll go like, oh, it's like,
oh my God, I didn't realize.
Like, have you ever watched something that you're like, they stole that from a comic book panel?
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what, and like the fight scenes are great.
But I struggle with the idea that they stole it from. Because
it's not stealing.
They took inspiration.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I often think that, oh man, they're paying homage to this classical thing.
They're honoring the greatness
correct.
that is.
Stealing is the wrong word, but homaging, yes, because stealing is a negative
connotation. And in all of these cases, I do believe that they're doing their best to pay respect to something that Michael B. Jordan loves.
Right. And he's even said, like, this is what my inspiration's from.
Yeah,
so that's...
I really like this, so I'm going to incorporate it.
Stealing is wrong.
I never got into Dragon Ball Z. It's it's one of those things that's well, no. I mean, what I mean by that is I never tried to get into it.
You never put the effort in.
Like I knew it existed, I guess, but it was one of those things that was already happening, and so I just didn't dive in partially way through.
You didn't feel like you'd be a part of the movement.
Well, I didn't even know it was a movement when it was a thing, right? So, I was all, X-Men and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and type of thing. But then when I see this show that I don't know what it is, but I know that it's been out for a little bit, I'm like, oh, well, I guess it just passed me by, right? Basically.
Yeah. So you missed the boat. The boat's over here.
Exactly. Yeah. I can't even swim, so I'm not going to try and swim.
I can't. It's not going to come back to shore. There's nothing I can do.
Exactly. I mean, nowadays, obviously, I could pick up DVDs or possibly find a streaming service.
If you want, I can give you the DVDs. I got all of them.
Time is really one of my biggest issues.
Time is an inanimate object.
I do appreciate the gesture, but man, time is something I'm struggling with.
I mean, listen, if you ever have a freakish amount of time, I got you.
I'll get you those DVDs. Here's the deal. If I ever come into a large sum of money, that'll free up my time quick and easy. Yeah. And so
if you guys want to send us free money, I'll never say no.
Well, speaking of money, though, and it's not free. You actually get something out of it. If you click the link in the description of this here video, it will take you to my Indiegogo campaign where I have relaunched my 68-page graphic novel. There's a cover A by Jeff Hicks. Go ahead and pop that. That's cover B by Nick Crook. This is cover E by February Ferdinand, and this is Jeff's new C cover. Well, in poster form. But if you follow the link in the description, you can get yourself any of these products I'm showing. This t-shirt I'm wearing, the hat that I've got on, all kinds of good stuff. Everybody who makes a purchase, they get themselves a Gamble comic sticker as a thank you for making the purchase. Yes, the sticker's actually back here somewhere. But anyway, like I said, it's not giving us money, it's getting yourself something nice so that we can keep getting the product out to you, because the more money the campaign makes, the more likely it is that there'll be a volume 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. We can go back and tell the origin story of the heroes and spin out characters off from their origin stories as well, because, I mean, not only are some of these stories already written, just need the money to pay the artist, but also lots and lots of plans are in place, so thank you for helping out with the shilling good sirs, and back to the show.
Yes. What I like about this movie is it made me have a greater appreciation for Creed 2.
Oh, good.
And that's because, yes, they're paying homage to Rocky 3 with Drago helping out Creed.
Yes.
They were enemies, but now they're putting away their differences. Even though, actually, they weren't necessarily even enemies.
I was about to say, it's more like their mentors are enemies, and they were just fighting their fight.
Yeah, on their behalf almost. Yeah.
Right, yeah, it's almost like you got to.
Yes.
Except Rocky was the one that's like, you don't.
You know, I'd actually prefer it if you didn't.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you saw this guy, but he's a walking wall.
Yeah, like, look at him.
This man in a brick wall, I kind of have to go with this man.
So you don't think I'm dangerous? No, not compared to him. But yeah, that made me have a great.
So check this out. I noticed, and I don't know if I was supposed to or not, but when they announced Adonis Creed for one of the fights, he's a former light heavyweight and heavyweight boxing champion, and I know that you had a beef with his their freedom of their weight divisions, if you will.
Very fluid,
very fluid, and I was forgiving of it because whatever.
Yeah, it's almost like being a cruiserweight in wrestling. It's basically the same.
It don't matter. Yeah, nobody pays it any mind. But I like that they did acknowledge that he was in 2 separate weight classes at different times and dominated both. But yeah, I love the bringing back of Victor Drago, and that's partially why I was like, man, give me this franchise. I'm itching for it. Like I'm like, I love Dolph Lundgren. I love Sylvester Stallone. Like I just love this world.
Yeah. And I love also that they brought back Pretty Ricky Conlan.
Oh yeah, Pretty Ricky.
Yeah. And I love that fight, especially because it shows how much Creed has grown.
Yeah.
Where he is taking now the hits, but he's learning.
Yes.
What the opponent is doing.
Well, so I don't know if this pulls from anime, but I loved in that first fight when he smiles and he says, "Ha, checkmate," because he figured it out. He's like, I know how to win this fight. And again,
I mean that kind of is an anime trope.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know if that's pulled from something specific, but it's just it's good because it shows the intelligence of the good guy.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
But even still, it is a great way to show
growth,
intelligence, and then also it's like, hey, he's not the same fighter as
he's not a 12-year-old child like he was the last time.
Right, he's not the same fighter from Creed 1
Oh
or
my!
2.
Speaking of children, though,
Oh,
Amara.
Oh yeah.
Him and Adonis and Bianca's daughter, Amara.
Mm-hmm.
This kid brought so much
Her
heart to these characters.
I was about to say, my God, that girl's performance was like surprisingly good.
Mhm.
So she's like what, 9?
Yeah, I don't know what she's ever done before or how old she
has
is.
done anything.
But man, the addition of her presence so often was just like, it was heartwarming.
Yeah.
Like, she looked up to her dad, she respected her mother, like she was the ideal child. Like, except
she's a child every parent wanted.
Like she gets in a fight, but it's justified. Like
Yes.
the fight she gets in is because the bully's picking on her. So I'm like,
He's like,
good job, kid.
and they have this very practical argument that any parent would have, like, oh, so what's she supposed to do? Just not defend herself?
Yes.
And I'm like, yes, Creed, yes.
Yes.
Of course, I have no kids, clearly, but
Yes, but every parent is like, well,
I mean,
yeah, they protected us.
I mean, listen, like when I got my first fight and I won, my dad was like, "I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You should never fight again. I'm so proud of you. Don't tell your mom. Don't tell your mom."
Yeah. Yeah, the dad closes the door behind
Dad
and looks
closes
stern.
Dad's doing the stern pointing, like gives a high five with the other hand.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like, good job.
You but yeah.
Also, I like that. Damien.
Yes, Jonathan Majors.
Yes. His intensity, but also like it's intensity, but also it's very he's not humble. What is the word I'm looking for? Like, he's very open still. Like, he's not,
I feel like he's relatable almost.
Yeah, it's so, like Clubber Lang, except for Clubber Lang didn't have like the heart that.
Clubber Lang was just as large in life person. He was Mr. T.
So to me, the thing that really gets that relatability, that everyman, that regular personness over, is when he sees Bianca into her client singing the song, and he's like, how's it feel to have somebody else singing your song? Because he can tell that that's her song that artist is performing.
Mm-hmm.
And to Bianca's credit, she's like, oh, it's good, because she knows her place.
Lying at a high level, I respect.
Like, she knows where she's capable of being, like, and what she's willing to sacrifice, which is she's willing to sacrifice her career to keep her the hearing she has left to enjoy the time with her family and stuff. So, like, I didn't think she was lying. I thought she was being legit. Like, I think she is more so than Adonis willing to step back. Whereas, he stepped back for what, 5 freaking minutes, and then he's like, "Well, gotta step right back up."
I want to say he was retired for like a couple years.
Oh, really?
What did Stephen A. say? He said 2 years, was it?
Yeah, I could have sworn he said 2 years.
Well,
he was gone for a little. I know it felt like an immediate jump from him retiring.
Well, not just that, but the movie moves at such a good pace, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 minutes shy of 2 hours, which is, it felt like the perfect amount of
I thought it
time.
was 2 hours.
Yeah, so it's 4 minutes shy of 2 hours, but it was like the perfect amount of time. Because never at any scene did I think, oh man, we're taking too long here.
Man, we're dragging. They could have took that out.
Yeah, no, there was never a time when I was like, oh, get rid of this. No, because even sometimes often I think when you have other actors portraying the characters, like the kids in this case, I usually be like, can we get away from this and get back to the stars of this show? But no, even the kid versions of the characters did a good job. So I wasn't even aware of the amount of time that had passed within the story, because it was moving so briskly.
Exactly.
Is what I was getting at.
Right. Yeah. The only reason I literally think I remember hearing Stephen A. say, like, you've been out of the game.
Guy doing the interview?
No. Do it with the
ESPN.
ESPN.
Oh, ESPN. Okay.
First Take.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I remember him saying 2 years, because, like, let's be honest, if he was out any shorter than 2 years, you don't really develop any ring rust in that short amount of time.
Gotcha.
So that's the reason I distinctly remember being a significant amount of time he had to train up to it. That's why I called Drago.
I loved when Damien called into the show.
Yeah,
because
like nah. We're gonna do this on live television.
He's coaxing him into it. He's like, just do it. Let's just go.
Yeah,
for
let's
it.
settle.
That was great. That was great.
Oh, it's so good.
I didn't know you could just call in the first take like that.
Yeah,
That's real wild.
I want to know the number.
Yeah,
I got a couple
let me
of
get the number. I gotta call in. I got some words to say.
Well, in my mind, when you're the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, they pull some strings for you.
Got it.
Yeah.
You just,
They say, give me on first take right now.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
he said, information. What's ESPN's number? They're like, we got you. Hey,
Yeah,
ESPN, get me on that show right now.
Give
Who
me
are
on.
you? I'm a world champ. You got it.
Say
pal.
less, sir. Say less.
Yeah, say less.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
crap.
yeah.
Another thing I really enjoyed was Drago and him at training, and obviously Creed's not at the level he was at Creed 2, so Drago just kind of, for lack of a better term, spanks him.
Yep.
And he's like, all right, that's enough. Let's take a break. You need a couple minutes, old man. And he's like, oh hell no, no. Let me get this mouthpiece back in. We're gonna go right back to it. Don't be a bitch. Come on.
But the best part though was he was because he was in his head is what made him falter in that moment, because
Exactly.
when he's knocked down, he's right back to being the kid that ran away and let Damien take the fall.
Quitter.
The quitter, exactly. Oh, and then so unfortunately, Mama Creed plays the role of Mickey here in this movie, and she
Gotta love Felicia Rashad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just put that out there.
And so, and unfortunately, as soon as they acknowledged she had health issues, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
man.
Oh yeah, no, I knew it was a wrap in that moment. I'm like, oh Lord.
But man, that scene was great where she was remembering
Apollo.
Yeah, I was like,
Apollo,
damn.
you
She's
have a
like,
son. I'm like, oh
yeah,
my
and
God.
he's she's
Felicia
so
Rashad
proud.
can make me
Yeah,
cry.
yeah, that got me teary eyed. I was
Yeah.
like, damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen, I've loved Felicia Rashad ever since she was in the Cosby Show. So every time I see her on anything, I get giddy like a little kid. Like yes.
Yeah, because that was a touching scene. That
For
was like, yeah, just a parent proud of their children, gets anybody worked
Well,
up. It's like
It was really crazy because like how I took the scene was like when she was talking to Apollo, like she was clearly dying.
Yeah.
Like those were last words, and like I think she literally saw Apollo, and like she was just having a conversation with him,
Yeah.
and Creed just happened to be there, and he just heard her last words, heard her thoughts, and how much she loved and appreciated him as a child, and how proud she was, and that means a lot to. Well, we're all kids, we know. Like it means a lot when your parents are proud of you. It means something special.
Especially his mother passed away young.
Yeah.
And then he didn't even know his dad.
Yeah, never knew him.
Apollo has died before, so having that the callback to Creed 1 that he's not a mistake. It's just cherry icing on top, whatever you want to use to
whipped cream, cherry, little sprinkles, whatever.
That was very touching. I was like, wow, that was that got me teary eyed. Anybody would should feel emotional after that, man. Yeah, so.
But
yeah.
You good?
I just miss my mom.
Yeah, no, I got
I
it.
get it.
Trust me, I understand. But also there's an elephant in the room that we have to discuss, and that is Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. Like an elephant not in the room. He wasn't there.
He's not. Yes, not in the room.
Not in the movie.
And then so the obvious question is, was his presence? Was it noticeable? Did you miss it? Do you think if he was there, would it have added anything? For me personally, no. I think that in Creed 2, I think they did a decent
in the story.
Yeah, decent enough job to say like, hey, he's passing the torch. Now, I think that for Rocky as a character, I think that it would be good if he passed away in the film.
So to me, there's one place where I think Rocky belonged in this movie, and that's at the funeral.
Okay.
And reason being is he. Now, but he also makes sense not to be there because Rocky's not exactly a touchy-feely kind of guy.
No, never has been.
And I can totally understand him not showing up for that, avoiding the emotional pain of it.
Yeah.
But I think if he was going to be anywhere, it should have been there.
For sure.
But I also understand it not having him there because it does fit with Rocky's prior established self.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I will say, obviously, anytime Sylvester Stallone's in a movie of this ilk, he's always going to add to it. But I also do agree with Brandon that in this particular case, I didn't really realize he wasn't in the movie until I left the movie theater. Like, they did a very good job of making Adonis Creed his own character, his own star, if you will.
Oh, absolutely.
So
yeah, I agree. Yeah. I don't think that he was needed. Like I said, if anything else, the only thing I would have maybe done, and maybe they did do it and I just didn't notice, is maybe have flowers at the funeral that had his name on it. You know, to acknowledge that he acknowledges her without going all the way across the country, kind of thing.
You're right. Yeah,
but like I said, I didn't go that deep. I mean, I do plan on watching it again, so I'll keep it.
I'll definitely watch it.
I'll keep an extra close eye out. But no, I don't feel like that he was needed. Yeah. I think that, like you both said, Adonis Creed stands firmly on his own 2 feet.
I'm so proud.
He had Duke there to help him with the gym,
mm-hmm.
and he himself was helping Felix Chavez, and Drago's doing good work on his own too. So like, no, I think that Rocky, while I don't think he needs to die necessarily, I think that he can either pass away or be a thread that keeps weaving itself throughout, like I said, what I would love to see, which is Damien, the franchise, and Drago, the franchise. So, if you do a Drago franchise where Victor is on the rise, because I assume that Creed's back in retirement after he proved to...
Yeah, because that's what Rocky did after...
Exactly. And so what... Yes. And so what I was thinking is, if Creed's back in retirement, he can also be a lingering presence to appear when needed and stay away when not needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he's always there for a quick cameo.
Exactly. Yeah. Get that star power in there.
Yes.
Michael B. Jordan being there for 2 minutes. Don't worry, guys.
But use both of those characters when needed, but only keep them on the ready. Don't actually make them the sole emphasis.
Keep it in your back pocket.
Exactly.
Back pocket, a little secret weapon type.
Yeah, secret weapon. That's a great way to put it. Because I as long as Jonathan Majors' career isn't over, I think he can. I think he can carry a franchise.
Oh yeah.
Now, if his career's over, then we ain't getting that name.
We're gonna. Yeah, we just gotta wait and see. But I'll just say that whatever happens, the man is immensely talented.
Absolutely.
And I think someone will probably lay off for a while, but they'll get more work. That's what we don't know.
To be fair, that's how Hollywood works.
Yeah. Well, it's just and celebrity too, because Mike Tyson, while we're talking about boxing, he was locked up for some real heinous stuff. Mm-hmm. But after he got out, not only did he have a few months stint in World Wrestling Federation, have a top spot in WrestleMania, not wrestling obviously, but in the storyline.
I mean, you might as well have punched Shawn Michaels.
Yes, but also he's in The Hangovers. He's just pop culturally relevant, right? So,
which is impressive because I'm pretty sure he bit in Man Zero.
There's a lot of things that Mike T.
Was on pay-per-view. Yeah, you were correct.
Yeah. But the thing that he got locked up for is way worse than
that.
So, like,
there's a reason we're not saying it out loud.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. Yeah. But my point was, as long as Jonathan Majors has a career, I think that Damien, the character, is worthwhile to follow because that guy, he did such great work.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, but if any Kang is as even mildly as good as this character, I'm sold.
So, I know you haven't seen it, but he plays like 50 characters.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'd say one of them is going to be on the good.
He hits a range just by the nature of what Kang is.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So,
and he's the best part of the movie.
He is by far the best part of the movie.
Oh, you both have seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and he is the best part of the movie. When he first appears and you're like...
I'm out of the loop.
You're like...
My bad.
Wait a minute.
Dang. He's pretty.
This guy's alright.
He's pretty
this guy's alright.
Now there's a problem, but not with him, but what they do with the character. But that's a topic for the when you see.
I'm about to say whole different topic. We'll discuss it as is.
Yeah.
But
well, it's good to know that you guys are both.
Yeah, we both watched.
Been there because whenever I knock it out, then we'll knock it out.
Yeah. Because, cool. But he is the best part of the movie.
Oh, without
hands down. Like to me.
To be fair, going into that movie, I knew he was gonna be the best part of the movie. No disrespect to
Paul Rudd.
Thank you, Paul Rudd. Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, Paul Rudd wasn't bad either. But it was just.
Yeah, I got you.
You'll get it when you see it
for sure.
But yeah, Jonathan Majors. Man, he is a hell of an actor.
Oh, absolutely.
And he did a great job in this movie. They all did. I mean,
yeah, there was literally not a character that I was disappointed with.
Yeah, I at no point in time was I sitting here. Even like the most minor character, like I feel like Duke had like the least important role out of all the main characters, and even then, I'm like, yes, Duke, you should be mad.
Yeah.
You did tell him
like, I told
not to do this, and he did it anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, but Baby Duke, they gotta have a line where he says, "Throw the towel." They just got to. They just have throw the towel. And it's in, I don't know, Drago or Damien. I don't know, but they have to.
Somebody
they gotta pay homage. They just have to. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's just
it's true.
Yeah, they just got to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Every Rocky movie I've ever seen lives and dies on the main villain. Mm-hmm. Like, you know for a fact, like Sylvester Stallone or Michael B. Jordan.
Wait. Stop. No knock. But this movie, to me, is so the beginning of Rocky because I never thought Apollo was the villain. Right, he's the antagonist, but he's not a true villain.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to see his perspective. And you know, he doesn't have like evil intentions. He's just like I'm out for the show. You know,
I gotta make that big dollar.
Yeah, exactly. And trust me, I'm with you, brother.
Villain was the wrong wording, much like we did earlier.
Oh yeah, I knew
antagonist.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew
big enemy.
I knew what you were getting.
Big bad.
Too.
You know.
All I was gonna say is I feel like this movie does a really good job of keeping that
line.
Yes, because like even though Damien does harsh stuff, I still see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And even though Adonis does things that he regrets, I'm with him. So I'm like, that's one of the great through lines of the franchise is that people are people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just go ahead. That was just good.
I mean, like I said, like the best, like Oz was saying, the best stories have stories where like you can see the antagonist's point of view, the villain's point of view, whatever wording you want to use there. But like I was saying, like these movies live and die based off of who the main antagonist is, and they executed great. The story was great. The fight scenes were beautiful. Like, and that's it. That's the trifecta you need with these movies.
Exactly.
If you hit all three of those, the movie's gonna be good. Like, it's really hard to mess up these movies, and then they went a step beyond and knocked it out of the park.
So what is your final grade there, sir?
The highest was it 7, 5.
So 5 is great.
Yeah.
But if you want to, if you think it's perfect, then it's 7.
Yeah. Like I really like this one better than 2, and it's on like my favorite Rocky 3 level for me. So 7.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
So personally, I gave it a 5 out of 5. I think it's a great film. I had teetered back and forth thinking, oh, maybe I'll do 6, because that's a spectacular. But I just stuck with that solid 5 out of 5. I was like, great, that's a
nothing wrong with it.
Definitely
would watch it again.
Oh, absolutely. So Brandon, what is your final score? Oh, and also if you got other stuff to go with, go for it. But because I know that you didn't want to lay it all out
on our flow.
Well, you didn't want to lay it all out when I called you up after I finished. So.
No, we basically talked about everything.
Awesome.
Like what I talked about, I think Creed 2 had a better story,
mm-hmm.
but the thing that always just threw me off was this Drago. But this movie made me retroactively like that film a lot more because it's like, oh, okay.
Not being a one and done is
helps a lot.
Right. And so even though we're gonna do this in the future, I'll raise my grade up for Creed 2 and give that a 4.
Okay.
And I'll give this also a 4.
Oh, good.
I think the story is better, but I think the fights were a lot better in Creed 3 than they were in Creed 2.
Sure.
But I think the story was better. Something about
the
Drago trying to get back into the good graces of his country because they were outcast. I don't know that.
Oh, it's good
stuff. It's home for it.
Yeah, and then the father
putting his burden on the son.
Right? And it's like that got to me a lot more.
Doja lives and dies.
Yeah, no, it's to me, it's hard to beat this franchise. Like, there are a lot of franchises out there that are friggin' massive.
Yeah,
but this one, I think.
I think Fast and Furious 27 is coming out as we speak.
I guess we'll talk about that.
Yeah, as soon as we press stop, it's going to get 32. But like, so I was thinking about Star Trek, right? So, so spoiler. Later on in the year, at least me and Brandon, you're welcome to come if you want. But at least me and Brandon, if Josiah wants, he can come. But we're going to split Star Trek movies into thirds. We're doing the original films, the Next Generation films, and the reboot films. Because there are just so many of them that it would be the longest conceivable video in the channel's history to do an all or nothing with all of them.
Yeah, you could very easily go about 3-4 hours talking about.
Yeah. So instead, we're breaking it up into 3 separate all or nothings.
Smart move. Smart move on.
And speaking of long franchises, Mission Impossible somehow.
Oh Jesus! Yep. Yeah, Mission Impossible still going.
Keep going. I mean,
I gotta give that one credit though. It's good knocking him out the park.
I'm about to say it helps he does his own stunts.
Yeah,
I think he almost kills himself every time, but does his own stunts.
Speaking of stunts, side tangent.
Oh Lord,
man, John Wick 4 and those stunts.
Woo, man!
And if you have not seen John Wick,
every time I watch these movies,
so
I looked up, and because me and my friend went to go see it, and Keanu Reeves is 58 years old.
That's crazy.
He's dang near 60. Try not to curse.
Yeah,
dang near 60, and I'm watching him do this. I'm like, this man cannot be almost 60. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I mean,
oh my God.
Hey, Michael B. Jordan and Dame, and everybody else doing their stunts in this movie.
Yeah.
Hey, actors doing their own stunts.
We respect it.
Great. Yeah.
I know why a lot of people don't, because I watch these stunts.
Yeah.
Because shoot, if you want to see a poster boy for doing his own stunts, Jackie Chan has done his own stunts for years, and his body is wrecked. However, his movies are phenomenal.
Yes.
So,
give
and take.
Exactly. Give and take for sure.
But highly recommend this movie.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
I recommend the franchise, and like I said, I pray
totality
to whoever can make this happen that we continue down the Rocky universe. And
it's going to happen because Sylvester Stallone doesn't have the rights to it.
So. How did that happen?
Okay, so
hard work and determination.
Well, so remember he was broke
when he made Rocky.
When he was made Rocky, and the only way that he could was if he sold it.
Yeah.
And before they're like, fine, but you have to give us the rights, and he's like, okay, fine. For a certain amount of money.
He never had it.
You're right. He never had it.
Never mind. I misunderstood. I thought you were saying like he recently had to sell it.
No. This was from the start. This was
back in the 70s.
Yeah. So check this out. So this is actually something I had thought about, and I'm pretty sure I've actually already talked to you about this in real life, but I wonder to myself, but I don't even think I wonder. So I'm gonna talk a little personal here for a second. So. There are times when I worry that I'm not going to succeed, and so I was talking to all of our mutual friend Ahmed, and I said, you know what? I'm not like Vince McMahon. If I knew that my product was better in somebody else's hands, like Vince's son-in-law, I would not force my way in but
I'm not gonna sell the company if you don't let me back in.
Exactly, because I'd rather see Everlasting Survivors do well as opposed to me being on top. And the reason I bring this up is because I talked to Brandon off camera before about how that I went to the Dollar Tree. Now I don't want to be a Dollar Tree sellout, but if I could be a sellout to somebody or something, and the product do well, thrive without me, then I think that it would be the right call, because I told him, I was like, I saw this comic with toy tie-ins at the Dollar Tree. I was like, man, that's mind blowing that the Dollar Tree has its own freaking hero franchise. I was like, that's weird. I was like, man, I'd love to be like the Target superhero franchise or Meyer or something like that. Not Dollar Tree, but
store.
yeah, somebody with some oomph behind them. You know, I'll even go Kroger, if you will,
or Dollar General.
yeah. Well, we gotta get some class up in here.
Just a little bit.
But it's just that idea of like, and so I guess Sylvester Stallone fits the mold of what I was going to talk about more than I realized, to some degree. I mean, turns out he doesn't have the same mindset that I do, which is I'd rather my creation do good without me as opposed to me having control. But I can see where it's coming from, the fear and the, oh, it was my idea, but I don't know. I think that it's better to let your kid grow up without you and do well than to need them to be under your thumb before you're cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess on my opinion, as long as I know that it's in trustworthy hands, I would be okay. And exactly. I think Stallone, he said that he'll never see Creed 3. He doesn't want to.
Yeah. He's missing out.
Yeah.
He is missing out.
I guess he read the script and maybe he didn't like the script or something. I don't know, but
did he say he didn't like it?
Well, he just said that he didn't like the direction because it didn't feel like an underdog story, something like that. It's on Wikipedia.
It was kind of an underdog story, just different.
But I think if he saw the movie and he watched it, he would see that, hey, it has my spirit.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
And that they will do it justice, that this is not just a simple tie-in. Mm-hmm. For instance, I'm trying to think of something that's like a tie-in. Oh, okay. Hot topic. Star Wars is always hot topic.
Oh yeah.
Oh sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, the sequels, the new trilogy or whatever.
Yes.
Production's great. All this stuff is great, but the story, they didn't have any planning in it because why? They just thought it was gonna just print money.
Oh,
technically, it did.
I'm about to say it did print money,
but the quality kept dipping because they didn't have
they didn't have any umpire, they didn't have any back.
I know that this is a not well received opinion and lots of people will somebody's gonna disagree with me.
Oz likes the first trilogy.
What?
Sorry, Oz likes the second Star Wars trilogy.
No.
I think they're all kind of trash.
Yeah. I'm talking about
so I think there's one good Star Wars movie in like 6 movies. You cut a bunch of it out and you get one really good movie up in here, right? So you can take maybe 2 good movies, right? So you take all the first trilogy, cut it all down into one good movie. Then you take the second trilogy, you cut a bunch of stuff out, throw a bunch away.
Cut out the whole first movie, and then you can take the other 2 and piece together.
Well, when I said the first, I meant the prequel trilogy. Cut that into one movie. Then you get the OG, the original Star Wars. Cut that down into one good movie, and you're good. And then I never made it past The Force Awakens, so I don't know what in it's worth keeping. So, but I will speculate that there's probably one good movie in the bunch of all the stuff.
I can give that.
So, like, I bet there's a trilogy in these 9 movies that I'd find okay, but overall, I'm like, I'm not gonna say when we do an all or nothing for Star Wars, there's a good chance I'm gonna say nothing.
Honestly,
I'm about to say there's 9 movies. I really have to.
Technically, honestly, yes. By the
definition of odds and
by the numbers,
I would even say yes
because
there's only 2.
I really like the original trilogy. I absolutely hate Episode 1 with a burning passion. 2 you can keep. 3 you can keep. Damn, we would be.
Honestly,
so,
we would probably.
So you know what keeps coming up on that '70s show?
Yeah. What?
Luke and Leia. See, because back in the '70s, everybody thought Luke and Leia they gonna be getting together. They were like, you know what's happening, Luke and Leia. Yep. You saw how she gave him that kiss. Oh yeah. And I'm sorry, I just can't get past that kissing.
Yeah, and then Luke. I'm feeling.
I'm just like, nah. I'm
they
not a fan.
They switched her over to Han Solo so quick it wasn't even funny. Like,
well, it's not even the switch; it's the fact that they're brother sister.
No. I know why. I don't get me wrong. There was no confusion about why. But it was just the fact that, like, oh god, like, they really didn't plan this through.
Yeah, and so the lack of planning is really the through line of the original trilogy and then the most recent trilogy, because according to Brandon and others, because I haven't made it past the first film of the most recent trilogy.
Did you finish the movie, or did you just watch some of it and it's like, I can't do this?
Well, I was in the movie theater with my parents.
Okay.
It's the last movie I watched in a theater with my mom.
Gotcha.
And my dad was there too, but like...
Right.
Yeah.
But which
what I mean is, there's
I get
greater significance to...
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is, I didn't get up and walk out because I was with people.
Right.
But had I been by myself, I may not have finished it. But yeah, I haven't made it past the end of that film because I was done at that point. I was like, I was always more of a Star Trek guy over a Star Wars guy. Have you ever seen the movie Fanboys?
Oh yeah,
I have not.
Okay, so check that thing out. It's so good.
Fanboys.
And you'll extra love it because of your feelings on the Phantom Menace.
Oh, great.
Oh yeah,
Excellent. So Fanboys is a movie about these four friends who love Star Wars, but one of them is dying.
Oh.
And so they break into the Skywalker Ranch so that the friend who's dying can watch Star Wars before he dies. And when George Lucas finds out why they broke in, he said he can watch it, but the rest of you go outside. Or get out of here. You can't do it.
Fair enough.
Well, but the best part is the whole movie is like...
Wait, when is this set in? Does George Lucas own Star Wars still?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was back in.
It's set before Phantom Menace came out.
Oh, okay. Everything makes sense.
Yes,
got it.
And so, so unfortunately, the dying character dies, and then the friends go to watch the movie without him in theaters.
You're right.
And the closing line is, "What if it sucks?"
What if it sucks?
And so that's the closing line. It's so good. But the reason I bring this movie up though is because in the movie they bump into Seth Rogen, who's a Trekkie.
Yep.
And while I'm watching this movie where these guys worship at the altar of Star Wars, the whole time I'm like, I'm on the side of William Shatner over here because he's
I'm on
also
the side
in
of
the
Star
movie.
Wars. So yeah.
And so I'm like, I like you guys because it stars Sam Huntington.
Oh. Okay.
And they're
Damn, I really gotta watch this movie.
Oh, it's a really good film, but so I like the friends, but like when they bump into their antagonists, the Star Trek fans, I'm like, I'm kind of on your guys' side, like, because I was always more of a Star Trek guy. Like, I love episodic storytelling. I love the philosophicalness of especially the Next Generation. But heck, I also liked Voyager a lot too. Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, and Star Trek is really about like bringing people together.
Oh, absolutely.
And stuff like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, except for the new franchise, the one with the new trilogy with.
You mean
what's the guy's name?
Chris Pine.
Yeah, Chris Pine's trilogy.
Oh.
Yeah. Woo, man, they start blowing stuff up.
I didn't watch I didn't watch that one, so
so
wild, huh?
If you aren't gonna do the other ones, you should at least join that All or Nothing, because that Star Trek reboot is made for outsiders. I don't know if you liked Star Trek, but the Star Trek reboot was made for non-Star Trek fans. It was made for fans of
Star Wars.
Somewhat Star Wars,
like
but I think it's more like made for Fast and Furious fans.
Oh, okay.
So Chris
Okay,
Pine,
I hate Fast and Furious. Perfect.
Well, what I mean is, so William Shatner. Damn it, not William Shatner. James T. Kirk. So one and the same, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
So anyway, James T. Kirk, he's on Earth and he's racing his car, and he's just being a little hoodlum, right?
You see the Fast and Furious.
And the cops pull him over, but they let him go because they respect his pops.
Yeah, he's a young gun. He's
And
his whole life
then he gets in this bar fight, and they're like, there are four of us and only one of you, and he's like, yeah, the odds aren't in your favor. The point is, the movie was, again, it's not a Star Trek movie. It doesn't have all those the coming together moments. It doesn't have all the.
I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like a really bad Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
No, it's a popcorn. It's like,
yeah, exactly. It is Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. It
Yeah.
could be like if this movie was made in '84 and James Kirk was played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're dang right.
Yeah.
It could be.
I'll tell anybody to watch it, but yes, it's not for Star Trek.
Absolutely. Yeah. You don't have that. You don't have that diplomacy. You don't have that none of the long drawn out.
None of the stuff that makes Star Trek good.
Well,
Is it that egregiously out of pocket? The fact
Okay,
that you're struggling this hard
this.
with it, yeah.
It's this. They have the core elements of the characters, like their certain mannerisms,
Yes.
but it's heightened to 15.
Yes.
Hmm.
So
Like-
Guys,
every-
broke the dialogue.
yes, everybody is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Ah.
Nobody is stunning Steve Austin in this movie. Everybody is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
So all
Yes.
the growth and everything you needed to become
Yeah.
Stone Cold just was skipped by.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah,
No
yeah,
one's
just right to the
reserved.
person.
Nobody is reserved.
They're,
Yes.
they're all heightened to like the extreme
Exactly.
of who these characters are.
Yeah, it's
You're like,
it's fun.
yeah,
it's fun.
it's a
Okay.
fun
if
movie.
you want to have fun, pop these on.
Okay.
If you want to admire having a budget, watch Star Trek 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because that movie is just like, look at this. We got a budget for the first time.
Yep.
We're going to stay on this shot forever. This ship looks so nice, doesn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, guys,
Yeah.
all right, I guess. But, like, can we get with the story? They're like,
No.
But look at this. Like,
Look at
we're
this
not
ship.
poor anymore, guys.
We have money.
And then that's why they made Rise of Khan.
Ah.
Oh, you mean
they're-
Wrath of Khan?
Yes,
yeah.
Wrath of
Yeah.
Khan.
Yeah.
Because they were like, okay, we need some action.
Yeah, get back to the story,
Yeah.
guys.
Well, with okay, so my thing is like Star Trek. I don't hate it. I have no hate for Star Trek. I actually have a big appreciation for the franchise.
Yeah.
I've seen all the movies by any stretch of the imagination. I've seen the original and Next Generation. I don't think I've seen the reboot.
Sure.
Definitely haven't seen whatever the hell you guys are talking about. But I respect it. I was always more of a Star Wars guy. My dad was a Star Wars guy, so
I think that has a lot to do with
so
it.
it has a
So,
lot to
because
do
like
with
my
it.
dad was big into Star Trek,
Okay, see.
and
It's father
I
thing.
do think it's a generational thing. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what Bobby was into.
Neither.
Neither.
He,
Okay, there we
he
go.
said, "Hey, it's all."
He hates Star Wars with the burning
So we got
passion.
Star Wars, Star Trek, nothing. I like
I
it.
don't understand it. That why people like it is dumb.
I love Bobby so much.
Star Trek, he's like, why would I watch this when I don't like space stuff? I'm like, but Dad, it's good. And he's like, no. He's like, so yeah, it's neither.
Yeah.
It's just my curiosity.
Yeah.
It's like,
Bobby's good people.
Yeah.
I respect it. I respect
yeah.
it.
So.
But yeah, I've always been more of a Star Wars fan. I've always loved Yoda, and I think that really like Yoda's one of my favorite characters.
Sure.
I think what it is, I'm really drawn to like characters who are just short because I identify really well with them. So, but I always loved Yoda, always loved Vader, always loved Han.
Hey, in this
and
shot, you got the
Chewie.
height.
Yeah, I got it. I'm here.
Yes, I'm the short
finally
short.
up here.
I'm always a short.
Nah, guys, this was super fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed
I'm
it.
glad that we got to take this trip, not just with Creed, but just love, just a fun life journey
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about stuff we like.
Living in
This
last.
it feels a lot like the old comic corridor, just all over the place type of stuff. We
Yeah,
used to do.
but you know, we stayed on topic.
oh, yeah,
I was
well,
about to say
yeah,
for like a good half hour we
I think
were on it.
About 40 minutes, we were on point.
Yeah.
Last 15, we was.
Last 15 we were like, man, what? Okay, it's obvious like there's. You know what it is? We had no bad things to say about Creed, so
Oh,
we
yeah.
just went through.
Gotta
well,
find
yeah.
something bad to talk about.
We said all
You know, it
the
was bad. Star Wars, that was bad.
Yeah.
Star Trek, not always good.
Fast and Furious. Hate
Oh,
it.
hey, that could bring people into our.
Hey, all or
conversation.
nothing. So here's the thing: there's no point in us doing an all or nothing on Fast and Furious because it's gonna be a nothing for me. I hate all the movies.
Really? Even the first one?
I thought you
The-
loved.
Yeah, sorry. The first one's fine, but I wouldn't watch it again.
Oh, okay. Because
So-
I think the first one is good because it emphasizes.
You know what it is? It's the other 9
Family.
piles of crap stacked upon it. That makes me just immediately associate it with the rest
Yeah,
of it.
you know what?
Because one, I could watch one because my mom really likes Fast and Furious
Oh,
for
sure.
whatever reason.
Yeah,
So I could watch one and not hate my life.
of course.
But my God, if I watch those other 9 movies, no. I haven't even seen 10. I don't know if it's out yet.
It's
but,
not.
No.
No.
But
Coming
I
soon.
guarantee it'll be trash.
Okay.
Technically, there is a 10th one though because of the spinoff, and so 10's
Yeah.
actually 11. But
I-
that's a
I like Hobbs and Shaw one, the
I-
actual
I-
franchise. so
I thought about this,
What is
Yeah,
it?
and
let me
I
hear it.
wanted your guys' opinion about it, and maybe I'm wrong.
hate it.
I'm ready.
Whatever.
So I started to think about it because Oz talks about to me about wrestling. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. That's very cool. I never knew about a heel turn and a larger than life
Oh yeah, that's
personas
right.
and
Because Oz says
stuff
all
like
the
that.
gimmicks. Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this is cool. And then I started thinking, I was like, is Fast and Furious just a weird guy's like pseudo understanding of wrestling? Because there's like, think about it. Jason Statham was a bad guy.
Yep.
But then heel turn. He's now a good guy.
Well, that's
Face
called
turn.
a babyface turn, actually.
Face
turn.
So it's a heel turn when the good guy turns bad, and it's a face turn when the bad guy turns good.
Oh, okay.
But I get your point.
You are following the right terminology.
That's why they got The Rock. That's why they got John Cena.
Well, and actually, from the first movie ever, Brian turns heel on the cops to go with the bad guys to allow Vin Diesel's Dom to escape.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're right. It is wrestling like, but the reason it's so wrestling like is because
actually it's probably the same amount of pyro.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Especially right now with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
he's blowing the budget.
What?
but what I was gonna say is the reason I think you're right is because there's this guy. My brain just decided to give out on me, but there's this guy who made a video on YouTube. It's totally worth watching.
Okay, that narrows it down.
Wrestling isn't wrestling.
Okay.
Do you guys tracking?
I'm following what you're saying. I've never seen it.
Crap. Oh, then you're missing out. As soon as I hit stop, we're watching it. It's so good. So his name is Max Landis. There we go. Thank God.
Yeah.
Max Landis made a video on YouTube called "Wrestling Isn't Wrestling," and he has this video that follows the complete career of one wrestler to illustrate how wrestling is so many things. It's melodrama, it's evolution, it's all these things. And at the end, he says wrestling is all these things, but wrestling isn't wrestling, because it's really storytelling. You know?
Yeah.
Correct.
And it's not the holds. But so I love Max Landis, the storyteller. He's written great Superman stories. Actually, I bought one of the books to give to Brandon because I was like, this is so good, you need to read this. Actually, I think I have one to give you too.
Oh yeah.
It's in the other room. You can take it home with you.
Okay.
Love that guy. He's so good at
No, you're fine.
he's so good at pitching stories. So there was one time he was making a video. I love you, Max Landis. If I ever meet you, I'll be like, we're already friends. You just don't know it yet.
We've been friends our whole lives.
Well, since I saw you on the YouTube. But there's this one video where he was making a pitch about this captain of this ship, and he's going about all his backstory, and he talks about this big storm and how they crashed on this island. It's like, oh, it's Captain Hook. I fooled you. You're on the bad guy's side the whole time. And I was just like, I love this guy's ability to tell a story. But yes, I agree. Fast and Furious is wrestling because wrestling is good storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Except for Fast and Furious.
Well, it's good storytelling, bad storytelling, mediocre storytelling.
Yeah, it's
a little bit of everything.
Yes. Oh.
Because, characters coming back to life in
Yes.
Fast and Furious. It's like,
And
Actually,
Undead Wizard in wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yes.
for watching. Thank you for helping with this. We're going to watch Wrestling Isn't Wrestling. Press stop, please.
See,